art is life for me. You know, I live to create art. I love it. I think it's my purpose on earth. It's a discipline, really. So when you have discipline in life and learn to practice positive actions and put out good energy and practice doing that every day, practice eating well, practice exercising, practice looking inward in a good way, like recognizing, okay, I'm not perfect, but how can I improve? You know, I can always improve. We can all always improve by practicing, you know, empathy and all this, just all those good virtues. You know, it has allowed me to flip the script and look at it the same way I look at my art. I like to continue to grow as a person. You know, I'm doing my best to do that. That's kind of the goal.
Owen Murphy, artist under the moniker One Drop Design Studio. Owen, glad to have you here. For anyone out there listening, Owen's done art for, as you can see on his shirt, pigeons playing ping pong, Dead and Company. The list goes on. You'll hear Owen talk about it. Starting this off, Owen, you just did an NFT release. So my first question for you, are you tired yet of explaining the details about NFTs?
A little bit, but you know, it's such a young frontier of art and really computer science and all that. I don't understand the computer science as much as doing the art. That's why I have a team. It's a team of 3 right now. That might expand as we do further projects.
So Owen, you sold out of your first run in like basically immediately. Would you say you understand it yet?
No. Really what happened, we sold out in an hour, and there was like a 2-week lead up for preparation of getting everything together correctly. And the day of the drop, I started a Discord, I'd say like 2 weeks prior. And the day of the drop, out of nowhere, like I don't know what happened, like just like a bunch of people started getting added to it and joining and like asking all these questions. And we're like, holy shit. So we had to do a lot of pivoting in the moment. That was really cool and exciting, and just like it was a thrill. I gotta be honest. Like in hindsight, which is always 2020, there's a lot of things that I would have done differently. Mainly, it was planning out like the roadmap of like where this is going. Honestly, I went in with low expectations. I was like, all right, you know, we'll sell 150 of them and we'll break even. And you know, we wanted to get some of my longtime collectors, because I have my group on Facebook, The Oddballs, which has like 2,600 people in there now. And there's a lot of people who were hesitant about getting into it. But, you know, I put it at a very cheap price point. You know, right now it's like, you know, they start off at like $30, $35, and they get commercial rights to, you know, the image. So they could buy one, go make pins, go make t-shirts, go make stickers, whatever. It's like, here, you know, have all of it. But yeah, I would have planned some of the art out a little bit more, but you know, I wasn't really sure how I was doing it. And you know, this is a green blockchain, so I'm happy with that. You know, it's an environmentally friendly. There is work that needs to be done on the blockchain because it's so new, but because it's new, I also like that. I kind of found value in that, and there's a lot of hype around the Solana project. You know, even though Solana's new, I'm also new. Like this is new to me too. So we're just, you know, kind of shooting our shot. But yeah, it gained steam and it just blew up. And I'm already drawing part of project 2, which is going to take a couple months to do because I'm going to be a lot more elaborate with it.
Oh, and zooming out, like looking back, let's say knowing what you know now, you could have planned things maybe in a slightly different way. Let's say you had access to much more capital.
Yeah.
To really be creative with different kinds of incentives with your NFT release. Like, what do you think are some things you might have done differently?
Yeah, mainly the big thing is the roadmap, kind of fine tuning that and figuring out what the incentives for people to hold these things will be. You know, it's not, you know, there's a lot of utility in just art for art's sake, and that's cool. You know, at the end of the day, yes, I'm an artist, but I want this to be something cool, like bigger and cooler, because really an NFT, when it comes down to it, it's not the image. The image is just an image, you know. Like I said, art is a utility, but it's the coding behind it that is important. So what I'm trying to do here is make the NFTs with the wallets unlock something. So
Unlock something.
yeah, so it's like a key. As these projects move forward and I do more and more, the first one will unlock the second one, but the second one will also unlock something special. Like right now I'm talking to a friend about doing a metaverse concert. As it'd be cool, it'd be something that's cool. We're just trying something different. Like, this is just a new experiment that I'm playing with. So I could just learn, I want to learn things. It's just trying.
Have you thought about unlocking tickets to a real concert through that?
Yes, I have thought about that. I'm not an event planner in any sense of the word. I'm not organized enough. I just,
Do you foresee that as something that will end up happening?
Yes, that's absolutely going to happen. And I can 99.9% guarantee that's going to happen. I already know people that are working on it. So, and they have been for about a year now. So it's coming. There's a lot of possibilities. My brain doesn't work like that to be able to explain how that's going to work from a computer science standpoint, but I can almost certainly say that this is going to happen.
So, Owen, jump into the side here. I'd love for you to talk to me a little bit about the philosophy behind your art style.
Since the beginning, if you look at the progression of my work, it's become a lot more detailed. And because of my philosophy in life is, I try to be humble and keep growing as a person. And I think because of the activities that I did as a kid and how I grew up, and the activities that I still do, like surfing, martial arts, and team sports. I've always been pretty coachable, so I was able to kind of get outside of myself, and I learned how to take constructive criticism from people who, recognize and understand how to give constructive criticism. So, I shout out to Paul Flexner. He was more or less my mentor professor in college, and his son's actually an insane graphic designer and poster artist who turned into a mentor of mine after I graduated. But his class got me to step out of my comfort zone, and he's the one who was like, you need a lot of work, but this is how you do it, and blah blah. And then my dad helped me, because he's an artist as well, kind of understand what my teacher was critiquing me on. I remember one project my teacher was like, yeah, these are all the things you need to do, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I went home for a weekend, and my dad was like, oh, this is what he means, because my dad's he's practiced and understands the philosophy of art a little bit more and how that works. So
Can you talk to me just like in general about the philosophy of art?
It's not a competition. I mean, that's something that I keep in my mind. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm just more practiced than the next person. One cool thing about the poster community is like, we're not in competition with each other. We all help each other out. It's like we're coworkers and we're friends, and we're not trying to fuck each other over. And that's what I love about it. Getting together at like a Trips Fest, which is like the Rock Poster Society. It's a big poster show. Like, seeing all those guys and just talking shit and hanging out. I love it. From the philosophy of art, from the start of my career, I could look at a piece and then figure out objectively what I needed to like improve on. And that kind of crossed over into my life, looking at my own self and my behaviors and actions, and to become a better person. So it's become like this symbiotic relationship. Being able to look inside or objectively look at a piece, I can recognize what needs improvement. I'm not perfect. And like every time I do a piece, I come back and, I might be signing and numbering some prints at the shop and be like, fuck, I need to do this better next time or whatever. And that's just like meditation in a sense. Signing a number in prints is not meditative at all. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But so it's kind of meditating can be a pain in the ass too. It can show you things that are not pretty, and it's very hard to do, and like I said, I can get caught up in real life. I can get caught in this ego trap like any other human does. One thing that really showed me to grow and take kind of the path is, psychedelics was actually a big part, and that helped me with my mental health, even though at the beginning it was just like, let's get high. I remember the first time I took it, it was like, it gave me like a sense of empathy that I didn't have before. It was like, I could see behaviors in myself that I was like, I don't want to be like that anymore. That's not productive to myself. That's not productive to society. That's not productive to my peers, my friends, my parents, my family. I got lost in that because like once that was over, I was just like, whoa, like that was insane. My mind was kind of blown, so I probably wasn't ready for it. But as I learned to take them more responsibly, which, if you're going to do it, be responsible, because they'll fuck you up. It's better practice, I guess. everything's practice. You know, the more you practice the skill, the better you'll get at it. I'm not saying I practice psychedelics. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just mean like that has allowed me to like look at things and have a daily practice, and realizing that the more I practice my art, the better I will get over time. And that has allowed me to have this philosophy that it's not a competition. You know, the competition is against yourself and your previous self, your past self. Looking at my art, I do a lot of stuff. You know, I might do a t-shirt that's a little simpler, you know, like this is an old school one. A piece like this could take 6 to 12 hours or something like that. Or I could do a poster that takes 6 to 12 hours. That's a little bit more minimalistic and is not just illustrated to the max. Or it could take like, you know, 24 to 30 hours or 50 hours or whatever to draw something that's very intricate and detailed. You know, if you kind of scroll out and look at artists in general, you know, you have guys in the scene that have just insanely intricate, incredible designs that easily took forever, and like the line work is just beautiful and like, but like really crazy details. But then you have guys that it might not have taken them as long to do, but the subtleties of their design are fucking beautiful. So they're equally as good. You know, there's no better. Like I said, there's no better. That's just like a subjective bullshit egoic trap that people climb into. And, you know, you see that in the jam scene and the music scene and really just in life. And I've learned that, you know, I used to kind of be like, oh, these guys are better than these guys. And like, you know, when you get to a certain level, it's just a matter of taste. And it's all practice. We're all just artists doing our thing. And I respect the hell out of that. We're all here to collaborate and be creative together. You know, Miles Davis said something. It's like about the notes. It's about the notes you don't play with jazz. You know, that's like, that's beautiful. You know, you guys, you have the people that shred, and then you have the people that touch it back and just groove a little bit slower. And, you know, that's the beauty of it. You know, everybody has their own flavor.
I love what you're rapping, Owen. I thought I heard you mention maybe like 5 to 10 minutes ago how art and life for you are kind of symbiotic. Did I hear you correctly? I'd love to hear you expand on that.
Art is practice. You know, there's a Bob Ross quote. I love quotes, like the isms of masters. You know, it's like wisdom. You know, that's as far back as you can go. And you know, you can disagree with anybody you want, but you're going to hear something smart from somebody at some point. You got to pay attention. You know, be present in that. So, you know, Bob Ross said that talent is pursued interest. So, you know, from an early age, I think it has a lot to do with my dad because he's an artist. So I was brought up in that and going to a museum when I was like seeing a Picasso exhibit when I was 5 and like getting kind of the positive reinforcement from early on through school and all that, you know. So art is life for me. You know, I live to create art. I love it. I absolutely, I think it's my purpose on earth. What I've learned is, like I said, the more you practice something, the better you will get at it. It's a discipline, really. So when you have discipline in life and learn to practice positive actions and put out good energy and practice doing that every day, in a sense, practice eating well, practice exercising, you know, practice meditating, practice yoga, anything that's positive, really. Those are the healthy things that you need. You know, I can only really speak from personal experience, but it seems to work out for other people as well. When I practice that in a good way, like recognizing, okay, I'm not perfect, but how can I improve? You know, I can always improve. We can all always improve. And just to be a better person, you know, just don't be a fucking dick. You know, I think I used to be kind of be a dick. Sometimes I still can be a dick because I'm not perfect, but nobody is. But by practicing just all those good virtues, you know, it has allowed me to flip the script and look at it the same way I look at my art. And I think I like to continue to grow as a person. You know, it's I'm doing my best to do that. I'm sure that's kind of the goal.
Oh, and can you recall any mistakes that have been really valuable learning experiences for you as your progression?
Definitely made a lot of mistakes, but it's really good to learn from them. And mistakes are good if you learn from them and don't continue to make the same one. Basically, mistakes keep manifesting themselves towards you until you learn it, and then it stops. So that's kind of part of the practice. That's kind of part of the practice, like I said. So like another big mistake is because, I don't know if you can tell, I just recently got diagnosed with like ADHD over the past year. And I was like, this makes sense. You know, because over the pandemic, it was tough. So I went and saw a therapist over telehealth or whatever. And I was like, I needed to work some shit out that I couldn't work out on my own. In reflection, I learned that, you know, overzealousness, kind of being more present in what I'm doing and being more intentional with what I'm doing will like kind of help me and keep me from doing that kind of thing and being impulsive. And that came with partying too much and just kind of getting caught in that ego trap. You know, it can become a problem for some people. And I think there was a certain point in my life where it was becoming a problem. So I took a step back and I was like, you know what? I got to correct this. This isn't good. This is not productive for how I want to be or who I want to be in my life. So once I got my priorities straight, things kind of started to fall together. And that even happened pretty recently, within the past 5 years.
So in addition to what we've been talking about, Owen, as we're kind of wrapping up here, what advice do you think you could share here with any other artists listening?
Be humble, be coachable, don't quit, because you can't quit. If you want to be an artist, I mean, you could be a hobby artist, still don't quit. Like, keep doing that. That shit's good for you. Creative outlets are very important for us as humans. If you're trying to do what I'm doing, like a poster artist or whatever, or just a freelance designer, or just a business person in general, don't wait for those gigs to knock on your door, because sometimes they'll never come. You got to go get them. And when they do, just be nice. And sometimes when you're going to get them, you're going to get no for an answer. So don't let that kind of deter you from moving forward. You're going to, for every yes, you're going to get like 10 no's, or maybe even more, but keep pushing forward. And, like, one thing I learned from being from surfing and when I was a kid, and still, you're going to ride the wave, and then you're going to fall off eventually, but get on back on your board and paddle back out.
Can you drop any future plans with next NFT releases?
Yeah, we're tentatively doing 4 within this one project, and some of the future ones are going to involve collaborations, hopefully with some of my musician friends, and we're just going to keep trying new things. Like I said, this is a new frontier of art and more. This is opening up so many possibilities to do things differently, and we're just going to try it out.
Hell yeah! Well, thank you, Owen. If you're listening, at One Drop Design Studio, that's where you can find him. He's got a website. Owen, this is awesome. Any final words for anyone out there listening? Probably has some of your art on their walls.
Thanks for your support. Very grateful.
All right. This is a Weird Music Podcast. Owen, thank you very much. Take care out there.
You made it this far. Thank you for listening, and a big thank you to our sponsors, Hemp Relief CBD, SEM Tickets, Devil Wind Brewing, and Artillery Productions. We got links in the description below. Go check out all the awesome stuff they've got going on. And yeah, much love, everyone.